What's going on? Chris Jenkins, credentialed member of the media, covering the Carolina Panthers for Charlotte Vibe, a.k.a. Man of the People. Joining you tonight to talk about the Carolina Panthers. This franchise has taken us through it quite a bit. Here's what we do each and every day after the game, unless I got sick. So also, let me, again, just go and thank everybody for their patience while I've been sick, while I had no voice. It's crazy that took about 2 weeks for me to get over that. I actually was starting to get sick. When I say sick, it was mostly losing my voice before I even traveled up to Chicago. Tried to kind of preserve the voice a little bit pregame, did the postgame show, and then, the voice just went away. But nevertheless, we are back to hosting our postgame show, our day after show, where it's dedicated 100% towards answering your questions and interacting with you. That's why we go live, to interact with you. There's no other online media that's credentialed covering the Carolina Panthers, except for maybe AM radio, where you can do this. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you will tell a friend. And also, asking a favor for you to help us grow. It's a really simple favor, too. Subscribe to the channel. If you already have subscribed, like the channel. And we talked about it all season long. We're going to continue to talk about it. Andre and myself, we're here to support you guys through thick and thin. It's a tough season. We're 1-9. A lot of people are frustrated. We're giving away stuff every month. And this week we have our Bryce Young jersey giveaway that is now live. You can now register to win that Bryce Young jersey. We're going to give it away this Sunday by 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The link is in the description to go ahead and get out there and register to win that jersey. So we got a few special guests that will be joining us tonight. They are not on here yet, but they will be soon. And until then, you got me. And we'll go through some of these comments that are coming up. Malcolm Gerard Smith says, "Welcome back." No, said we back to being garbage. Yeah, we're not that good. We are a little something to be desired right now, but we're gonna work our ways through it. All right, and then let me see. Seeming like we're having some challenges here with getting some of our co-hosts, our other people on. Maybe it was my fault. I don't know. When a team's garbage, then maybe perhaps my stuff gets garbage. It's like a contagious type of thing. So I wonder if my other guest is going to send me a sound file. I'll give him a second to email me his intro if he wants to do that. He has my email address, but I'm going to bring him on in just a second in case he wants to do. Hey, say something to me, Andre.
Hey, what's going on? Your voice sounds.
Hold on. Don't say too much. I didn't have you properly plugged in, so they're going to get a little feedback. We don't want that happening.
Right.
Say something again.
Hey, that voice of yours, it's sounding really good right now.
Hey, I can talk passionately about some of the problems that are facing the Carolina Panthers every day.
Yeah, you and me both, man. You and me both. We're ready and we're here for the next hour or so, however long we're going to be on here for. We got a lot of things we got to talk about here tonight.
It's going to be a little less than that because we got to stick to the hour. My wife is not going to give me too much grace. We got too many kids in this house now. It's just I got to keep it tight.
Got to be on schedule as much as humanly possible.
All right, so this guy did not send me any hype music. I know he could have. I really wanted to. I stalled an extra second. He didn't want to do it, but we'll just do a lot of this. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the show the one and only Silence Happy Pat Coltrane. What's going on, Pat?
What's up with you, baby?
What's
Bubba,
happening,
it's your
man?
boy Pat Coltrane. Appreciate you, Chris, for having me, man.
Hey. Why do you want to? Come on, man. Pat Coltrane came out of retirement.
More than that, man. There you go.
You need more? You need more?
Right now.
There you go.
Came out of retirement to join Andre Cassidy and myself to talk to you fans. Something that Andre has dubbed Mental Health Mondays. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays, starring Andre Cassidy, Chris Jenkins, and special guest Pat Coltrane. By the way, link to subscribe to Pat Coltrane's channel is in the description. However much time you're gonna give me, I know you guys are gonna love it. Pat, how you been?
Man, it's been good, man. You see, I'm back. I'm back streaming now, man. I had to come back because the people, they showed a whole lot of love to me. So I said I can't leave, man. I tried to get out, they pulled me right back in, man. So, I've been good. The Panthers ain't been good, but I've been real good, man. Taking it easy, just taking it easy.
You got a new studio or just new
Oh no,
background?
man, it's the same. It just, I usually have the green screen up and all that. So,
Okay.
I mean, but it looks pretty legit, though, I must say.
oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it looks pretty
Hey,
good.
and I apologize. I don't know if you were trying to get on as well, and it was delayed. So I don't know what happened. I guess I didn't pay a bill or something, and
Yeah.
I had to click a button, and there we
Yeah,
have
you
it.
had us worried there, Chris. You had us worried for a little bit. Not gonna lie.
So this show dedicated to the fans. We want those comments coming. We also want you guys to click on that link in the description to come on and talk to us live and direct. That's the most fun. So I hope that a lot of people will be brave. I don't think it's called being brave because we're some nice people on here, but come and join us and talk to us a little bit. But until that happens, we got a few things that we'll touch on here. And Pat just looked like he ready to go. How you feeling, Pat? You feeling all
Nah,
right?
man, I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I almost, I ain't gonna lie, Chris. I almost forgot, dog. If you were to send that text, man, I was like, oh, man, I forgot about my boy, man. It's just been busy, man, but I'm happy to be here, dog. I'm ready to rock and roll, man.
Hey, it's all good. And if you had forgot, that's all right, man. I would have just
Nah,
had you on next week. It
that's
happens
all
every
right. I
week.
would have did it.
Hey,
I would
there's
have
some
did it too.
flexibility there.
Hey,
I
you
would've
know what,
did it.
Pat? And if I missed you again, I could just have you pre-recorded because we know. I mean, this ain't nothing new to say each week, right?
For real. Look, shoot. And I need this mental health Mondays, man. Shoot, I need this. We might have to do
Hey,
it every Monday.
we do it, everybody, and you're always invited to come. So we already got
Appreciate it.
somebody that wants to come in, which is great. So
Oh,
we're
here
gonna
we
bring them
go.
in. We got 2 minutes that you got to state your question, and then we're gonna tackle it from there. So let's go ahead and bring this young man in here. Boom. There you go. What's going
What's
on?
up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Not too bad.
We're hanging in.
Good. First time. Thank you for having me on.
Appreciate you coming.
Appreciate it. So, being a loyal Panthers fan from Ohio is very tough. Um, what sucks is like getting excited every year about this, and then being told like we're one quarterback away of actually being competitive. But what I don't understand is if you're bringing in a new coaching regime, why not get a offensive line that's going to be built towards your scheme instead of just keeping the same people? It's like the status quo was good enough, but as we're going on, it's not good enough. It's like watching Bryce just get sacked game after game and play after play. It's like it's just disheartening.
It's pretty tough. Did you have anything else, or that's just the one thing you had?
No, I have one more other thing. It's just I guess it's just like to the point to where I'm not the person that wants a coach to get fired because of the fact I know how much of an impact they have on families. But Frank Reich, he seems like a nice guy, but it's like when do you just pull the triggers? Like enough is enough of getting rid of him and fit to just have a clean slate. When do you just draw the line? If Tepper says we're done with mediocrity, it's like I'd rather deal with mediocrity. It's like so. It's like I was used to 7-9, 8-8 winning records. It's like we haven't been close to that. So where do you go from here? It's like does Tepper? It's like he's preaches like this being so. I'm done with mediocrity. It's like, but then where do you go on from here? It's like if he actually cares, where do you go on from here? Is my question.
Hey Thomas, I appreciate you calling in. I hope you call in some more, man, and we can be some therapeutic action for you today. And by the way, you can win
Yeah,
that Bryce Young jersey. The link's in the description to wear that around Ohio. All right,
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Thank
all
you.
right. So
Take
you
care.
know how it works. The guest gets the floor most of the time, but it's a toss up.
Oh man, that's cool, man. I do
I'll
want to
take the
say
first
something
one.
that he brought up what's crazy is, man. And Chris, I don't know if he was in Frank's presser today. He said something kind of like what the guy was just talking about, where he kind of mentioned how I think somebody asked him about the offensive line and how, I guess how he felt about their progress or whatever. And he talked about how last year, at the end of the season, how the team were a run first team, right? And so it's hard for him to gauge that because they were a run first team. But one thing that really irked me is because I'm sorry, I'm trying to get upset on your show. I know it's Mental Health Monday. Okay. What irked me is that you saw that this was a run first team, right? And you saw that the resources that we had, they were a run first team. Then you try to come out here and you really thought you was going to be able to change all that with a run first team, and then try to be this spread type offense that was going to be high flying and putting up 30 points, and you don't understand what the problem is, man. This is a veteran head coach now. Okay, this is a veteran head coach that just said all this stuff, man, and it is scary. It is scary.
Yeah, and it's quite concerning because he even said it in his presser today. Like, we looked back at the tape from last season, and that was the thing that they were able to do so well over the last 10 to 12 games of the year. And literally, with a Steve Wilkes led team in a matter of weeks, they were able to figure out their identity. And here we are a year later with Frank Reich, 1-9, and we're still questioning what does this team does so well offensively, and nobody knows the answer to that question. And with all the experience and all those masterminds that we have with our coaching staff,
Mm-hmm.
nobody in that room seems to figure out or can seem to figure out what's the problem.
Yeah, and I feel like that I know that you can have all kinds of personalities and demeanors, but I feel like Frank is just too calm about everything. I feel like he's too patient with everything, and that of course I know he's probably a different guy behind the closed doors and talking to the players, but you just have to wonder how much of that leadership that he has that he needs right now to get things done. And the other shocking part about the lack of success right now is Frank, is Caldwell, is Capers, is Deuce Staley. It's a whole lot of
Somebody.
guys that's in there, and I just wonder how are they all letting this continue to happen with this team. The other thing that Thomas talked about there, I wanted you all to touch on is, well, when do you pull the trigger and fire this guy? Is it now? Do you go ahead and say I can't do it now? I'll let him wait till the end of the season. Excuse me. My voice, I guess, is 99% back. I'm still gonna have a wheezing cough that may have to endure it periodically, but I feel like if he, come on, man, my voice.
You got it, fam. You got
Hey,
it.
get you some water.
I
Right.
got it, but it's a little
Oh,
deeper than that. I got it. I got it.
it's a little deeper than that.
I got a lot of emotion up in here that I want to get out. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try to change the tone so my voice will hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Almost forgetting what I'm saying. But I feel like if you go and you fire him during the season, which you could very well be tempted to do, then you're going to get yourself back into another interim head coach situation. And I think that could be tricky and not too fun. And then if that interim head coach comes in here and does well, then you got, well, do you keep the interim head coach? Because I feel like he will want to avoid what happened to him last year with saying, okay, yeah, he did a good job in hiring Steve Wilkes as that interim head coach, but then Wilkes did good. And then he had to figure out a way to not continue on with Steve Wilkes, which was, in my eyes, a pretty big mistake. And I don't feel like that's hindsight 2020 because I didn't like it when it happened.
Right.
But I'll throw it to you guys about that. When do you pull the trigger, if at all you pull the trigger on Frank?
I feel like it's not going to be until the end of the season because, I mean, if they were going to do that, I felt like today would have been the day. I mean,
That press
the
conference
lose.
started late. I thought something was going to happen. It started
Right.
real late.
Really?
And
Wow.
here's the thing, like back in 2012, Carolina pulled the plug on Marty Hurney. Uh, yeah, I believe it was Marty Hurney. It was whoever the G. It was either him or Dave Gettleman after starting 2-8 and losing to Dallas. So I mean, if somebody were to have been fired today, I felt like it would have been Scott Fitterer. I mean, that probably would have been the fall guy just because he's been here for the longest period of time since 2020. But in relation to Frank, it's probably not going to be until the end of the season, just because, I mean, if you fire him now, I mean, yeah, you may have a relatively decent sample size with the amount of games that are left. But I feel like that window, uh, probably after the Chicago game, that probably would have been the time even then to even consider it. But I think the more weeks pass by, the less of a chance that he would get fired during the season, and it increases his chance of getting fired when the season ends.
Pat, you have anything?
I'm gonna be honest. If it's up to me, he's fired now. But logically, if I'm being a reasonable person, no, I don't see him getting fired during the season. Maybe maybe at the end of the season. I kind of agree with what he said. I do see it maybe at the end of the season, and I like the idea of maybe Scott Fitterer could have been fired, but that'll put Dave Tepper in a huge mess, man. I think he already messed up. And honestly, even if we were to fire Frank right now, I don't feel like we'll be worse off if we did. I don't think it'll be any type of movement. We'll still be in the same situation. Yes, we can hire a interim. I know a lot of people like a V-Row. And who's to say he will become the next head coach or whatever. But honestly, this team they're at the bottom. They are rebuilding. They still at the bottom. So any type of move you make right now is not going to hurt this team. I promise you.
Try any and everything at this point,
Yeah.
right? You can only go up. Try anything. Try the
Yeah.
Wildcat. Try anything.
Yeah, do it.
Which, by the way, Dallas did it twice, right? This past Sunday had Dak go wide out.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yep.
Hey, so we're going to continue to work through these comments. Super chats are welcome. Losing my train of thought here. What was I going to say? Anyway, I got a super chat, so let me just go to that one. Maybe the rest of my thoughts will come back.
Man.
Oh, also, we want you guys to come on the show, right? So Thomas, I believe was the name. He joined us. It's a way to skip the line and come on and interact with us. Be your therapy, vent. Just don't curse, however you want to say it. Use
Keep
good
it
words.
PG.
And we'll love to have you on. So let's go ahead and get to the super chat right now. Pat, we do a lot for our super chat. We give them some rounds of applause. Ali Broderick, what's up and welcome back, fellas. It seems like the Panthers either help other teams get right or boost their stats. Yeah, we'll give you some sacks for sure at the least. We'll give you some pressures. We'll give you some good stuff. Appreciate that.
If you need a get right game, just play Carolina, man. That's your get right game right there for you.
Let me share with you guys this information that I dug up today to get some comments from you all. We all know that there was a lot of pressure that Bryce Young was under this past Sunday, just yesterday. But did you know that Micah Parsons had 10 pressures on Sunday, and they came in 2.5 seconds or fewer? Damn. The most quick pressures in a game by the player in the NFL this season.
We ain't had nobody stand in front of him.
So let me repeat this because I didn't say the full thing. 8 of Micah Parsons' 10 pressures on Sunday came in 2.5 seconds or fewer. The most quick pressures in the game by any player.
That is crazy, bro.
All for one player,
1,000, 2 1,000. Go!
I mean, you're burnt toast in 2 seconds. I mean, how can anybody survive under those circumstances?
And he was juiced up. You heard that he had took some energy drinks or something like that. That's why he was throwing up on the sideline.
Yeah, he had some pre-workout. It was like
he was trying to kill Bryce, man. He knew what he was up against. That's why he took that. What was it? C4 energy drink. He's like, I'm about to kill somebody. He tried to kill Bryce, man. That is crazy.
Hey, we're gonna show a few pictures because we have one of the best photographers. I'm not even gonna say one of the best. We got the best photographer that's out there on the field each and every Sunday, covering the Carolina Panthers. So we want to show him a little love. Helped me get a lot of attention today towards a quote that I put online from Brian Burns about just kind of the frustrations of being here for 5 seasons and not having one winning season during that time. But nevertheless, we're going to show a few pictures. Pat, I know you wasn't at the game, so I'm going to try to make you feel here.
I can send you some pictures from my house. But definitely wasn't at no game.
Don't make me laugh too much, man. I'm gonna
I
start
got you.
wheezing.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
Anyway, you can see it's a lot of. See, Andre,
Oh Lord.
you're gonna have to take over while I mute myself and cough a lot. But here we go, Andre. Talk about these pictures, man.
Yeah, I mean, just take a
Oh,
look
this one's
at it,
messed
man.
up. Oh, they get this one right.
Man, why'd you do Jimmy Johnson like that, man? But yeah, I mean, this just tells the whole story right here. I mean, you see everywhere there were Dallas Cowboy fans. I don't care where you were in Uptown Charlotte yesterday. I felt like they were in every block of this city. There's another group of. There was a Peyton Manning jersey in the midst of all that. I mean, that's so random. Freaking Denver Broncos Peyton Manning jersey. But I mean, the Cowboy fans just outnumbered Panther fans. You can see Jimmy Johnson there alongside Jerry Jones, who made the announcement yesterday that he was going to be a part of their Hall of Honor in Dallas. I think that's a long time coming for Jimmy Johnson. Pretty
But
interesting timing.
how disrespectful is that to have Jimmy there in Charlotte? He's like, you know what?
Yeah.
We're gonna open up a can
is
on him anyway,
crazy.
Jimmy. So, Jimmy, why don't you fly on out? Fox and everybody gonna be there. Greg and Burkhart gonna be in the booth, and we're gonna tell everybody because this is Dallas, North Carolina that we're in right now.
Basically,
We're gonna tell everybody that you are going to make it into our Hall of Honor rink, whatever they call it, Dallas. And yeah, Jimmy was there.
Tepper ought
enjoying
to
the
be
game.
ashamed of himself, man. Ain't no way
Right.
you allow this to happen, man.
and hey,
Come
let me
on,
say
man.
this too for everybody.
Come
Chris
on, man.
I showed this picture to Chris yesterday because our photographer sent this while we were up in the press box.
Yeah.
And he said, "Man, did Jerry Jones gain some weight? He's
He
looking
looked-
a little heftier
He looked chunky,
in
man.
that picture there. I mean, he looked like he's
Ain't
been
look like he
eating
got them
good.
shoulder pads on his.
I mean,
his
I don't
suit.
know what size blazer that is. But that's definitely bigger than what I'm used
A
to seeing.
56
with Jerry
short.
Jones. I mean, that's something right there. I don't know what they're feeding him at Bank of America Stadium yesterday, but my guy was eating good yesterday down in Carolina.
For real.
All right,
Man,
Pat,
that's a shame, though, man. That's so disrespectful.
It
I
is.
can't believe Tepper let that happen. But obviously, Tepper is the bottom feeder for all the owners, and he just do whatever they say. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it looked like.
Pat, you can't make me lose my voice back, man.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
man.
we
I'm
might
sorry.
have
need
to
some
kick you
tea.
off.
You need some green tea.
I had so much tea. Anyway, my life
You
has
gonna be all right,
changed. Man, I don't know.
Oh, no.
This team is not helping me. So let's try to get
Were
through some
were
of
you
these
at the game yesterday? I didn't even.
Yeah. As a matter of
I hope
fact,
nobody was around Chris at
Oh,
the
come
game.
on,
He's sick.
come on. There was a lot of people about. Andre was sitting there right beside me.
I'm
Oh,
pleading the
Andre,
fifth, man. I'm not
Good
gonna
luck.
put my guy down, but
Good luck.
there
Andre.
will be chapters added to the tell-all book of the man of the people. That's
Good.
Oh yeah.
Take you some vitamin C and some zinc.
Get them emergency C packets.
Yeah. He trying to take you out, man.
It was some things going on yesterday, but we made it. I was trying to find this picture to share with you, but I'll come back to it. Let's try to work some of these comments right here. Oh man, we got some harshness out there. If I win the jersey, I'm
boy.
throwing it in the garbage.
Oh my God.
Dang.
Jeez, I mean, you gonna tell it to my face? The
Come
man that
on,
bought the
now.
jersey.
I don't think
he's
he's trying to disrespect you. He just saying that he ain't.
He ain't feeling it.
Oh man, that's nasty work though.
Dude,
So
he's
tell
at a
me this:
fundraiser
how you
event
win the
right
jersey,
now.
Chris? I missed it.
Yeah, so there's a link in the description for you to register to win the jersey. It's just click on it, typical raffle, online raffle type thing, and enter to win. And then Sunday after the game, following the Tennessee Titans, we'll announce who the winner is. So we're
Okay,
giving away a jersey every month to try to help people through this tough time and show some compassion for everybody that supports us. So, yeah,
What's up?
giving away a jersey.
There you go.
All right, so let's continue to work through some of these comments here. This is kind of ironic because I'm still barely making it, but Supernova, appreciate you. I am better than I was yesterday and 2 weeks ago.
Man, how long you been sick? Where I been at?
Come on, Pat, you ain't been paying attention?
Bruh, man, let me tell you.
man.
I be in and out, man. Look, my bad, dog. My bad for not checking in on you. How long you been sick, man? Oh,
So Pat, I don't like how you saying sick like that. I just want to let it be known. I just been
God.
dealing.
Hey, he's been dealing with the elements, man.
I'm
I've
sorry.
been
This is what
dealing
happens.
with some vocal issues. All right,
Oh.
so and my eyes got pretty red at one point too. That's when I looked real bad. But
Yeah,
yeah, my
yeah.
my voice was just it's been hurting.
Oh man, why
They
ain't
It's a
try,
nobody
process.
told me nothing?
yeah,
Dang.
we
I'm glad
making
you
it.
better. I'm glad you better.
Hey, we got a few people out here to know you. I can't. I
Yeah,
wouldn't even disrespect you and try to say that.
yeah, I appreciate you. What up, Michael? I appreciate the love.
Sea Dog out there.
Hey,
My guy
hey.
C Dog.
Michelle Yvette, you know what? We hadn't had this happen in a minute. One of our members, so
Hey.
we love to see our members come on the show. They had that special little icon to let us know that they are members. So we ask, and I know it's a tough ask, but membership is needed, appreciated. Kind of want you guys to look a little bit further than right now because we want to
Right?
continue to do this. We want to continue to grow. So all the memberships help us to do the things that we do and cover this team, flying out to games and all that cover stuff that Pat misses because he's in his cave down there in South Carolina. But Yvette, we appreciate you doing that. And
No, he's in his
then,
basement, as Tepper would say.
Yeah, in the
oh,
basement. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
he's in the basement right now.
what up, Chris, Andre, and Panther YouTube royalty?
Oh, wow.
Dang. That my guy AJ Lindsay. What's up, man?
Man.
Royalty?
Put some respect
Yeah.
on his name there.
Chris a hater, but it's all good. Yeah,
A little bit.
I
This team is
appreciate
just a complete embarrassment. I've had to find other things to do on Sunday. So,
Oh,
I got an interesting story about this. So, yesterday we're doing our live pregame show. And after we have wrapped it up, the guy came over in a Cowboys shirt to ask us who we were and what we were doing. And during that time, he shared with us that he actually is a Panthers fan. He lives in Raleigh, but he also likes other teams such as Dallas. And he felt like, given the circumstances of the current state of the Panthers, well,
that's embarrassing.
since they're one of many teams that I like, I'm definitely going to throw in this Cowboys jersey, come to the stadium, and have myself a good time. And, they won the game, so I'm sure he did have a
Talk
good
anything
time.
wrong with that? Because
Casual.
I need to know before I tell my truth. Anything wrong with being a fan of two teams?
I think there's absolutely nothing wrong. It's 32 of them.
No, I get it.
I don't know if that's right,
But
but
it's Dallas, though. I mean, you
Yeah,
could
definitely.
choose
I don't
any
see it.
other
Look, let me tell you,
team.
if I had
Man.
to choose another team, it definitely ain't gonna be Dallas. They
I
ain't
mean,
got
you
to
could
worry
pick
about that.
the Packers, you could pick the Cardinals, you could pick any other team in the NFL, and it had to be Dallas. The most hated
That's
team, America's team, right? Like, come on now. They're
Yeah, the
a
fan
30.
base in bad shape, man. The fan base is in
Uh,
bad shape.
who you picking? You care to tell us your other team, Pat?
I'm just joking. I ain't got no other team, man. I wish I did though, because I really
That's
like,
what
and
you
I
have to
made, and I
listen
tweeted this because I really like. I ain't gonna lie, I really like the Eagles, and the Ravens kind of like one of my favorite teams only because I got some family members who are Ravens fans, but I really like the Eagles and the Ravens, man.
Well, let me ask you,
But to
have you
become serious fans of them, I can't. I want to, but I just can't.
have you always been where you are, living wise?
No, what do you mean? Like lived in different states? That's what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've lived in different states.
So that's where my liking of other teams come from, because I feel like when you live in some other states, like I grew up in Delaware, so being an Eagles fan, I definitely look at them and keep an eye out on them because that's where I grew up watching them all my life until the college days. So I feel like it's not a bad thing.
Chris, an Eagles fan, and he a beat writer for the Eagles. He just said
Oh,
it.
man.
And he a journalist for the Eagles. I can't believe you, Chris.
It's out.
The truth comes free.
Yeah.
Jimmy says voice doesn't match the face. I'm not sure who he's talking about. Jimmy, who are you talking about? We got 3 guys on here. Voice doesn't match the face.
Interesting.
B Stallion, just trying to make it through these most unfortunate and difficult times. What's the solution to turning this around? How do they determine if Bryce Young is the QB of the future without any wow moment? What to do? Toss up.
I mean, hey, that was something that we talked about yesterday, Chris. We haven't had one of those games yet from Bryce Young where you're like, wow, I can see why he was taken number 1 overall in this past year's draft. And part of it is just because, hey, there's not really a whole lot to work with around him. And so, with the lack of an offensive line, not giving him more than 2 seconds to throw the ball and receivers taking forever to get open, I mean, it's a criticism of Bryce, but is it really a fair criticism to really pin on him, especially when there's a lack of talent surrounding him? I do think, down the stretch, there's going to be more opportunities to potentially have that happen. But I mean, that is the one thing that I will say about Bryce Young, and I'm a Bryce Young guy. I think that he, with the right pieces around him, can be something here for us. But he hasn't given us that one distinctive moment where you're over here saying, hey, I'm glad to have him here. I mean, when you look at Cam Newton, right, back in his rookie season, he gave us so many of those explosive firework plays where you're like, okay, I can see why. The talent is there. He has that it factor. But yet we're still waiting from Bryce Young to be able to present that to us.
Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. I'm going to try to get through a lot of comments today because we've been bad. Normally we try to get through them a lot on Sundays, but I'm just going to say this now. On our Sunday pregame and postgame show, it is just way too much action when you're outside,
Right.
70,000 people coming. We used to just be Andre and I, but now it's Andre, myself, Rashad from Panther Nation Podcast, and it's a lot. So that's why it's important that we continue to do this Monday show and invite you all to come on and talk with us. I'm going to throw this one to Pat from Nadir. He said we had 22 run and 107 yards. 22 runs, 107 yards. Why we stopped the run, we should have run the ball 40 times and also saved Bryce from getting sacked 20 times in 4 games.
Well, Nadir, your head coach stupid. Okay, I'm just be honest. That's just what the truth is. You know what I'm saying? Your head coach came out and said before the game, we not a smash. Your head coach came out and said, we not a smash mouth football team. He already said today, we not the type of team that's gonna run the ball like that. So it's obviously he don't want to run like that. When he got rid of Deontay Foreman, he chose Miles Sanders over Deontay Foreman, and he started Miles Sanders over Chuba, who's a better power runner. He don't want to run. He don't want to run the ball. He want the 30-point, 40-point games, and he wants Bryce to throw it, but he don't have the resources. Your coach stupid. You hear me? He's stupid. I'm sorry. I apologize. Mental Health Mondays. I can be transparent.
I mean, you're
I take it
facts
back.
over there, man. I mean, I can't spitting facts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Let me see. I think I had one more thing I want you guys to talk about. We'll continue to go through these comments here, tossing them up. Let's see. Just somebody liking Wilkes Thomas, who was one of our people that called in and said Wilkes had that locker room. There is no intensity. Michelle Yvette, one of our members, saying she's celebrating 1 month of membership. Appreciate you for being a member. And Lonnie Williams, I'm a fan of Carolina Panthers, but I can't do it anymore. Year after year, it's called delusional. Speaking of that year after year, man, we're in, as I had mentioned earlier, let me see if I can get this picture up, but I had a quote from Brian Burns that I put out there earlier today. I'm going to put it back up on the screen with this picture that I'm going to try to find here super quick. If anybody wants to be my highly skilled, highly unpaid production coordinator for the show, I welcome you to do so.
Chris don't be wanting to pay nobody, right? He just I just come down like Chris still owe me gas money, man.
I do owe him gas money.
Yeah.
So here's a picture I posted. Here's the quote from Brian Burns. He said this yesterday. I have been here for 5 years, haven't had a winning season yet. It's tough, but like I said, I'm motivated, and I'm always going to be on my team and always going to stand by their side. I'm never going to fold or switch. That was your boy, Brian Burns, quote that I had from him. So, yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough losing season after losing season. That Super Bowl year seems like it was decades and decades ago. I just want my kids to see me cover a team that wins a game.
Mm,
You know, my
not the
daughter,
churn.
she just turned about 4 weeks old, and she
Dang,
did see that Houston Texans win, but how much will she remember? I
she
just
ain't
want
gonna.
them to be able to remember
That was it.
watching a victory, and it just hasn't happened. It's definitely frustrating, and we're going to continue to try to make it entertaining and help you guys through it. AJ Marshall, if the Panthers were to fire Reich during the season, the team will play better with Evero as interim head coach.
I feel like he would be the guy. I mean, it would either be him or Thomas Brown, but I think the consensus from Panthers Twitter right now is Ivero Ejero. So, I mean, he's got that defense playing well, right? With all the injuries that they've had this season. But the one thing that they haven't been able to do really at all this season is force turnovers. And, I think, they're on pace to I think finish, with some of the least turnovers they've had as a team in quite a bit of time. So, when you look at that unit, they've been serviceable, but you do want to see more from it. But he does have leadership qualities. He's a bright individual, and he was part of. He came from Denver, right? He was part of the Denver coaching staff. Correct me if I'm
Evero?
wrong. Yeah.
I don't have an answer for you there. I feel like I'm not sure.
Yeah, but guys in the comments, just correct me if I'm wrong with that. But I mean, he's a bright mind, and he definitely can get people motivated, unlike certain people in that locker room. But he would be the leading candidate, definitely in my eyes.
Let's see if I can get you back on here. Pat, wake up. What you got?
I'm awake. I already said it, man. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that if he's fired, it really wouldn't make or break. And anybody that come in, it wouldn't hurt. That's just how I feel. I don't think it would hurt. I do think that I do like Evero because I've seen the most from him. Thomas seems a little bit more, calmer. Um, but Evero seems like he can light that fire under a team, man. So I do believe that team would actually play better. You can't. I mean, it's not a high bar. You know what I'm saying? The bar is so freaking field. I keep calling field camping. James Camping could probably, even though I want him gone too. James got to go.
You
The
want
offensive
James
line coach,
Campen go?
he got to go. He got to go. He not getting it no more. But anybody could come up there now and do a better job because I think with the switch, the team is automatically going play harder because they're gonna feel like that's just usually how it goes. Somebody fired a coach, whoever comes in, the teams play harder for the interim coach. So yeah, I don't care who comes in. They're gonna play better. We're gonna see better results. The only thing is what this front office will do with that momentum because they killed the last time. Every time we get a little bit of momentum, they kill it. Always.
Hey, I gotta, whenever we write, we love to brag about being right. And since we're talking about the defense, I feel like this is a good time for me to point out that yesterday I talked about how I felt this game may go and play out. And I'm going to share that with you right now.
In regards to today's game, I think our defensive coordinator has been a genius, a little bit exaggerated, but he's been great. I felt like the dam was going to break on this defense a long time ago with all the injuries, and he's been holding it together. So I feel like today, I don't feel like we're going to win, but I feel like it's not going to be because of the defense. I feel like the defense is going to play pretty solid against this powerful Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb team. But I feel like what's going to happen is they're going to get a short field, whether that's because of turnovers or whether that's because of 3 and out, and the punt gets the ball to the 50, and that's how Dallas is going to win this game. It's because of the field position battle that they're going to beat, not because our defense is just going to get ate up by Dak and CD and the rest of the company. So.
Chris, you thought you was doing something with that prediction?
Hey,
First of all, let
the
me say, I
defense
didn't
is
even know I was
good.
there. Oh, that was a shot. We got to look alike, so I didn't even know. Like that, I had to take a double take. Man, that my guy Rashad. But Chris, you thought you was doing something with that prediction, man. Everybody said the same thing. Nobody thought we was going to win this game.
You knew the defense was going, but did you know the defense was going to
it.
be straight? The defense did very, very respectable. It was not Dak throwing for 400 yards like he had been
Oh,
in
okay.
previous game.
Okay.
Okay.
Look at you lying. You can't even get the lie out. You don't even know what you're talking.
Hey, for that, Pat, I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this comment on the screen. Let you read it. We're gonna do mean tweets by Pat. Read that tweet right there, Pat.
Oh man.
Read it, Pat.
They
Come
some
on.
marks. Pat about to say I lived with my mom when I was. Come on now. I wasn't gonna say that. Hey man, it's time to see three, man. Bump them. Bump them.
Oh man. Man,
Let's
this took a turn. This took a turn. I can feel the
That's all right. That's how
animosity
Chris do
being
me.
felt right here.
That is how he do me.
we gonna continue to move on. My voice is terrible. Let's talk about this team getting better. Actually, before we talk about this team getting better, let's talk about the future of a few guys. Even though that's kind of hard because we don't even know who the head coach is going to be, but we're just going to assume that Frank Reich is going to continue to coach his team slightly. I don't know if I even like saying that we're going to pretend that, but nevertheless, Terrace Marshall was inactive this past Sunday. A guy that had gotten permission to be traded, was not traded, couldn't go anywhere. He was inactive for the first time, a healthy scratch this past weekend. Indictment on Terrace Marshall for not being a good player. Indictment on Scott Fitterer for not being able to pick his guys right. How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I think with Terrace, and we discussed this yesterday, I just think it's a situation that he's in right now. And it's infuriating because the guy is talented, and some of it is self-inflicted, right? I mean, he's had some situations where drops have been a problem, and he's had opportunities to try to correct that. But ultimately speaking, I feel like if he goes to another team, they're going to figure out how to use him, and they're going to use his talents to the fullest of his capabilities. When they made the decision to go ahead and draft Jonathan Mingo, um, you know, that kind of just told you how this team felt about him, which kind of was puzzling to me because towards the end of last season, I mean, he had a pretty respectable stretch. I mean, he was one of their top producing receivers alongside DJ Moore. So, I mean, the fact that they didn't really give him much of an opportunity this season to try to showcase what he can do. And this could have been a breakout season for him because typically in your third year, that's when, as an NFL player, you start to figure things out. And, the fact that they didn't try to prioritize that and utilize that to their advantage, I think that's fully on the coaching staff of Matt Rule and the coaching staff of Frank Wright for not utilizing his capabilities.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I mean, I think Terrace is just like every other player. They're not able to showcase their talent, man. Um, and you kind of mentioned Jonathan Mingo because I think he might be in the same situation as well. I think Terrace's situation is kind of like we really didn't need Terrace. I didn't like the pick. When we picked him, I didn't like the pick for what we needed. Um, but apparently they liked them, they really wanted them, and they don't know how to use them. I don't know how good he is. I don't want to say he's a bad receiver. I do think as well as what Andre said, he could go to a team and ball out. I don't think that'll happen though. Just the way the league is, I think he kind of missed his window, which is kind of scary to me for these players that come here. Man, they're really not able to shine, and then they go to another team, and they may never get that chance that they deserve in the league, man. So I'm hoping that we don't kill Terrace's career. Um, but yeah, this is not a good look for him. For him to be a healthy, because this ain't the first time he was a healthy scratch, right? This year,
I thought this was the first time he was inactive as a healthy scratch, and then we had earlier in the season that where he was active
Didn't
and
even
just
have
didn't
a
get even
snap.
on the field.
Yeah. It was Terrace the one where he actually did okay one game, and then the next game they was just like, yeah, that was dumb. Yeah, see, I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah. I mean, I just hate it for him. He might be solid. Just from what I seen, it was enough to tell me, yeah, Terrace, we need him. I mean, it's just a situation where he's not able to showcase his talent, man.
Man.
Well, and to piggyback on that point too, as Chris gets an opportunity to get a hold of himself over there, right? I mean, when he requested for that trade, right?
Mhm.
Nobody made a call. Like
Oh
nobody
yeah,
even was willing to make and trade a 6th-round pick for a guy like Terrace Marshall. I mean, the market was pretty dry, and there wasn't really a whole lot of interest there. So, I mean, you could look at it from that perspective as well. Whereas, like, when teams had the opportunity to pick him up and make a deal for him, nothing but crickets. It's just nothing but crickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got about 15 minutes left. We're going to continue to work through these comments. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. We're trying to get to 10,000. So if you could hit the like button, helps other Panthers fans find out about us. And I also got something, earlier tonight, Pat Coltrane said, Chris, was you at the game? And I'm like, did he just ask a credentialed member of the media
Chris,
if he was
I
at
did
the
not
game?
know. I told you I'd be at,
So, this is what I'm going to have to do because I guess I need to be better so I can be relevant to Pat Coltrane. I'm going to just go ahead and show you this picture of me and my co-host on the field after the game, as we always do.
You sure that wasn't a green screen? Oh, I see what you did there, Pat. Oh, we were on him there. Oh, my goodness. We were both on him there.
AI
generated.
GPT right
there. But my bad, Chris. Okay, I just asked because, my memory, I be checking out, man. My bad. Okay, I know you're a credentialed member.
I'm going to love you, Pat, no matter what, man. That's just how I'm going to be, right? Because I know you mean well. I know you mean well.
I do.
Hey, I don't know how to say this name. Sometimes Andre helps me, but they say, I think it's your nails. Says
Yo nails. That's what I call them. Yo nails.
We literally at ground zero, starting all over again. This rebuild supposed to start 4 years ago. I don't know why Lonnie said this. Y'all don't like to keep it real on this show. This was earlier. This comment came through, so it wasn't like within a couple minutes ago. But I feel like we do a good job. I don't know.
We try to be real. I mean,
y'all must be talking about Chris and Andre. I keep it as real as I know how. No, I'm just talking. And look, I'm a vouch for Chris. Chris keep it real, and I don't know Andre like that. But
hey, Rashad got him fired up yesterday, man. He was calling Tepper ball-headed something and everything. So
man, look, we gonna. I ain't gonna let nobody.
Like a penguin, ladies and gentlemen. He waddled like a penguin.
Nothing but honesty up here, man. Nothing but honesty.
Hey, Rob Britt said, obviously nothing can be done at this point, but do you think the Panthers would have had more success this year had Steve Wilks been given a chance as permanent head coach?
100%.
Yep.
I mean, that's not even a question, right? Because Steve Wilks knew how to use the strengths of the team to his own advantage, right? He knew that P.J. Walker could not throw a ball in that first game. So he was like, you know what? We're just going to run the ball as many times as we could, and we're just going to throw screen passes because I don't know how I feel about P.J. Walker, right? He did the same thing with Sam Darnold when Sam Darnold came back into the lineup.
Don't you throw that ball.
Don't throw that ball. We got a guy named Deontay Foreman. We're going to run it up the middle as many times as we feel necessary. So you come into this season, and you knew that was how they had success last year. And Frank Reich coming in, he's like, hey, we're going to run the ball, but we're not a smash mouth football team. That was something that he said in previous weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I checked, a lot of these Panther teams that made it to the playoffs and made it to the Super Bowl for that matter, what did they do so well? They ran the ball. They had guys like D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, Deshaun Foster. I mean, you got these guys who could run, and that was their strength. And yet here we are, 1-9, and we can't seem to get any of that right. I mean, it's beyond me. I mean, 100% he would have done better. We'd probably be, at least first in the division. I mean, you look at our division right now. I mean, it's garbage. It is straight up garbage. New Orleans at 5-5. Could we not be 5-5 with Steve Wilks? I mean, that's a reasonable thing to aspire for, I feel like. But to be 1-9, I mean, with this all-star coaching staff, with all this experience, you name it. I mean, it's just an embarrassment, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So we got about 10 minutes to go here, and just going to open it up. Season is more than halfway done. Frank Reich has us at 1-9. The division sucks, which makes it even more difficult. I mean, I think a lot of things make it difficult to be a Panthers fan. The 5 or 6 straight losing seasons.
This was 6 straight.
the new coach after firing a good coach that was an interim coach. Just nothing working out right. It's hard to have a fresh look fresh lens when you're looking at this team. So I'm going to throw out the question there about you guys' feeling on this team, particularly with Frank as the coach, and just what do you think that we should be expecting for the rest of the season?
L's. Nothing but L's, man. In no game. I have never been a part of this fan base, and the morale was so low. This has got to be the worst Panther team I've ever watched, honestly. So you can expect L's. We're not going to win any more games. Who we play next? Titans. I can't remember.
Titans.
Yeah, we're going to lose that game too. This is going to be another breakout game for Will Levis. So yeah, just L's. That's what you can expect.
You think he's going to start to lose some of those players in the locker room, whether that be they just kind of tune out or quit?
For me personally, I don't want to even put that on because I don't know how they interact. They don't, usually sometimes you hear the players come out and, say they support their head coach and they're going to ride for their head coach. I haven't seen that lately. So honestly, I can't even see Frank being that type of coach. I have said that he's not a coachy coach. That's why when he took the play calling away, well, he wasn't good at nothing else. His locker room speeches suck. So it's like I don't see him being that guy that players want to get behind and say, "Hey, this is our coach." He just here, man. Like I don't think he's gonna work out. I honestly don't think he's gonna work out.
Yeah, he hasn't been asked a question yet, really directly, Pat. I'm sorry, not he, but players haven't been asked a question directly about supporting Frank to get that out of them. But I asked that because I feel like with the amount of losses just mounting up, right? I guess we're at 3 in a row right now. We won. I'm sorry, we lost 5, won 1. But anyway, I feel like now we're on the back half of the season, and we are about to be in what is an extremely tough stretch of football. And I know it doesn't sound like it from the matchups. We're about to play the Titans. That's not a superpower. Then we're going to play Tampa. That's not a superpower. And then we're going to play the Saints. 3 teams that are actually just, right? But here's the thing. It's 3 road games. 3 road games in a row. We haven't won a road game. Heck, we only won 1 game all season. But if you lose to Tennessee and now you're 1-10, now you got to fly to Tampa, play in their stadium. And you have a coach that comes up there and, he seems to be getting worn out already. His head seems to get lower and lower.
Yeah.
Each press conference. He doesn't speak with anything that is inspiring right now to, even from the standpoint of saying like this was wrong, or he just talks like really just like, well, we blah, 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 blah. And, he pissed a lot of people off by saying that he played really well in the trenches. And, that isn't the case. But you want to hear
what tape is he watching? Seriously, what tape is he watching? I mean, when I heard that yesterday, I was like, hold up. Your team gave up 7 sacks, and you're going to tell me that y'all controlled the line of scrimmage? I mean, come on. That was
right after the game. That's probably what it was.
That was right. Yeah, that was right after the game.
You don't
be
paying attention.
Came up and said that with a straight face. I mean,
you don't even be watching the trenches.
And this comment here by Michelle: those bonehead penalties by Woods and whoever else allowed Dallas more opportunity. So I'm putting this on the screen to say, well, let me backtrack. For me, I don't have faith in Frank Reich taking care of this team. He gave up for me, it was a play calling situation. And there's a lot of other stuff, but for me, that was a tipping point because you said it. Thomas Brown was your guy to do this. You said that this was the plan all along. You felt like this was like a natural progression. Thomas is great. It's also going to allow you to do all these other things. And I'm like, but we've had a lot of other mistakes before you were coach. While you're play calling. Now you're going to take them back. And we have continued to have mistakes like the field goal attempt in Chicago, which you wanted to put on analytics. But to Yvette's point here, if you're a head coach and you got these guys making all these penalties, that's setting you back. I think at one point it was what, 4 penalties for about 70 yards. I told you yesterday,
Yeah.
Andre, and three of those had created first downs. Like, put the daggone play calling book down and manage your freaking team. Talk to your defensive coordinator who's doing good. Talk to your offensive coordinator. Talk to your position coach. Get everybody collectively playing the best that they can play, because they're not. And you take it on more, continue to have more to do. It's just not going to be a good place. And you're not saying anything that's holding guys accountable too much. Like, when you do, you just kind of casually mention, like, yeah. And then seeing Bryce come up there, I know I'm talking about Frank, but I'm now going off on Bryce because my voice is here for the moment, so I want to get
Oh
this all
God.
out. You have Bryce come up there, and I believe that Bryce can be better. But I do wonder how much this is just taking a toll on Bryce, and starting to go backwards with things. Because heck, if you back there and you got guys that are coming at you in under 2.5 seconds every single time, and you're trying to learn this thing, you're trying to learn your job, it's tough. But Bryce comes to the press conference, he's going to say, I got to do better. I got to execute. That's on me. That's the same thing. I got to do better. I got to do better.
Yeah.
Then you hear coaches talk about execute. I got to execute. Yeah, they could only say so much, but I want a coach that says something that moves you, says something that makes you think, okay, here's why I'm going to believe in something being different this week. And if he's not able to say that to us in the media, then I feel like, how can he say that to his players behind closed doors? What is he saying? But I talked a lot. Andre and Pat, y'all can kind of close out on that topic there that I brought up as we round out this show.
I mean,
Um,
yeah. I mean, you talk about Frank Reich as the motivator. Um, there's not a lot of motivation there. I mean, you look at Ron Rivera. Hey, he had his moments, good and bad, but you knew from the very beginning that was one dude you do not want to irk, that you do not want to make mad, because, hey, he will light you up and hold you accountable if you didn't do your part, if you didn't hold up your end of the bargain. He was going to be on you on that. And I don't know if Frank Wright has that ability. He's a nice guy, and people say good things about him. He's never going to go out and publicly or behind closed doors call people out. But this team needs a spark. Like, this offense is so dead. Like, again, it gives me a headache every single week watching this offense play, because it's like, man, there's nothing unique about it. There's no imagination behind anything that's happening here. There's no creativity, nothing. So, for a guy that specializes in that side of the ball, you just wonder, like, what where's the disconnect? Disconnect in the play calling, disconnect in the personnel,
What?
everything in between. But I can tell you right now, like, hey, I feel like I could get away doing something. And if Frank Reich were to come at my face and just start laying it on me, I would just laugh, because I would not be
Okay.
able to take him seriously. I just wouldn't. I mean, he's just a dork. He
What?
sounds like a dork. He looks like a dork, and I
What?
just can't take him seriously.
Chris tripping, man.
Hey, go ahead, Pat. Look. Go ahead,
He
talk
looked
talk
pitiful,
talk to
man.
Frank.
He looked so pitiful,
Oh,
man.
man.
This picture was
Honestly, that right there is Frank Wright. He just looked pitiful, man. Frank Wright is not meant to be a head coach, and I hope he realizes that very, very soon. I think he just want to be a offensive coordinator. He just want to call the plays. I think it was right before they handed over play calling to Thomas Brown. He actually admitted, "Oh, I don't spend much time with the defensive side of the ball." Like, what type of head coach are you, Bank? When we first in the beginning of the season, we had a lot of play calling issues, a lot of timing issues, play clock issues. We saw that, like, I can't remember which one of y'all brought it up, but the defensive penalties. It's like all he wants to do is focus on play calling. He is not a head coach, and I think he's not going to get any better. And we need to realize that he looked pitiful. Chris, put that picture back up. Put the picture back up. Look, just sad, man. This is the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, man. thing just pitiful, man. And that sound went so good with that. Pitiful, bro. And yeah, I think I think the quicker he realizes, or Tepper or Scott realizes, this is not a head coach. He wants to be a play caller. You can tell for him to take back the play calling from Thomas Brown, he realized he's not good at nothing else. He's not good at being that motivator. He's not good at lifting up the whole team. He
And he's
only
not good
good
at
at
play calling.
he think he good at that. That's the only thing he think he good at. It's because somebody done lied to him. So that's the only thing he think he good at, and you can't tell him nothing. And I think it's going to be. It's not going to change. I'm not excited about Frank at all, and I'm ready for him to move on.
And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Stephen Dillon says, has an NFL team ever forfeit? We should from here on out.
Let's do it.
Just forfeit. And one more, I'm hit. 10 Tizzy, my man, who is a member of the channel, so we're going to give him some applause and everything. He said, what you mean no one asking about the locker room? Chris, you're the only one here that can ask those questions, man. Okay. I've been a little sick. I ain't want to go in there and be like,
on you over there.
coughing in somebody's face, and they some big guys in that locker room. But you know what? I will ask that question. So I like the title, man of the people. I got to earn it. I will go in that locker room this Wednesday, and I will ask some players about their confidence in their head coach being able to turn this thing around. So look forward to that coming. Hopefully that'll earn a like, a subscribe. But I'm going to give this thing to Pat Coach Frank and let you know who he is, where you can follow him. And Pat, thank you so much for spending this evening with us. Hopefully you'll visit us, check us out periodically here and there while you in between your big things, YouTube royalty. But go ahead.
Man. Whatever, man. Y'all know it's your boy Pat Coltrane. You can find me on YouTube, Pat Coltrane, Twitter at Pat Coltrane, and Facebook, facebook.com/Pat Coltrane.
People still on Facebook?
I don't have a set. What? Man? I don't have a set time. Just subscribe, hit the notification bell. I just coming out of retirement, so I'm kind of semi-retired, so I don't have a set time. Hit the notification bell. I go live whenever it's time to go live.
I want to just talk and just mess with you, but I ain't gonna do that. Cause
no, do your thing,
you probably can do it better than me.
Enjoy this. This is the last time I ain't coming back to Charlotte Vibes.
Oh man,
I'm joking. I'm joking. This is my dog. I'll be back.
That'll be it. So for Pat Coltrane, Andre Cassidy, I'm Chris Jenkins for Charlotte Vibe. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back again next Monday. Set your notifications so you can see who our special guest will be. But anyway, thank you all so much for coming, and we'll talk to you later. Pat, stay on for a second.
I got you.
peace.